bond, now we're issuing it at a premium. So you can see that we are receiving $102,000, and so we only have to pay back the 100, so we have a $2,000 premium on bonds payable. So when we make the interest payments on this bond, the semi-annual interest payment will still be the $5,000 in cash, but then we'll be amortizing the premium over the life of the bond. And so you start off with the bonds payable of 100, the cash of 102, and now we've got the premium on bonds payable account, which you can see starts out as a credit balance account. As we reduce that premium, we're going to be making debit entries to the premium account, and we're going to be making credit entries to reduce the interest expense. And this makes sense if you think about it, because we've got more money to work with than we have to pay back. So that essentially reduces our interest costs of borrowing that money. So what happens is you're paying out the, let me get, so you can actually see the journal entry here better. You've got your interest expense is going to be lower. It's going to be $4,500 because you've paid out the cash of $5,000, but with each interest payment you're amortizing some of the premium, and that's going to be reducing your interest costs on this bond. So in looking at how that works, if you take it, sort of one entry at a time, you make the $5,000 cash payment for the first interest payment. So interest expense is going to be $5,000. But then you have this $2,000 premium to amortize. You're going to divide that by the number of interest payments you're going to make, which in this case is 4. And with each interest payment, you're going to be reducing that premium by $500. And so you're going to be debiting the premium and then crediting interest expense. So this is the sum of your interest expense for the first period, and it's $5,000 minus $500. And that's how it will work for each journal entry. Okay, so when you get to the bottom of the, or you get to the end of the bond's life, this bond has only cost $18,000 in interest expense. So a shortcut for doing that is the interest cost of a bond is going to be the cash you pay out. And if you've issued the bonds at a discount, it'll be plus the discount. That'll be your total interest expense. If you've issued them at a premium, as we have here, it's going to be your cash you paid out, the $20,000, minus the premium on bonds payable. So you end up with a total of $18,000 interest cost on this bond. If they're held to maturity, you simply retire the bonds when they come due. You pay out the cash and retire the bonds. This also takes you through in the notes sort of a blow-by-blow description of what happens, and if that's helpful to you, you can do that. So that's our premium on bonds payable.